Hello scholars. Today we are starting chapter number 17, Independent India. The year 1915 was a crucial year in the India's struggle for freedom. In this year, Gandhiji returned to India from South Africa. Gandhiji was born on 2 October 1869 at Porbandar, Gujarat. He studied law in England, and after getting his degree, he went to South Africa in 1893 for practicing law. There he saw miserable condition of Indians. They were ill-treated and humiliated by whites. Gandhiji started Satyagraha, which means insistence on the truth. It was a method of non-violent resistance. Gandhiji achieved great success in the campaign in South Africa. His experiences in South Africa helped him a lot when he came back to India. In February 1919, the Rowlatt Act was passed on the recommendations of the Rowlatt Committee and was named after its president, Sir Sidney Rowlatt, a British judge. This act gave the British government unconditional power to arrest anyone without the benefit of a jury or trial. It also empowered the government to restrain newspapers from printing any kind of anti-British propaganda. Thus, it came to be known as the Black Act. The Rowlatt Act was strongly opposed by the entire country. Gandhiji announced peaceful demonstrations and meetings to express discontent over the Rowlatt Act. On 13th April 1919, more than 10,000 men, women, and children assembled at the Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar to peacefully oppose the Rowlatt Act. To foil the demonstration, General Dyer brought in his troops, closed the main entrance of the Bagh, and opened fire on the people. This shocking and inhuman incident not just killed thousands of innocent people, but also indicated the complete apathy of the British towards Indians. After the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, Gandhiji launched the non-cooperation movement in September 1920, asking complete independence from the British rule. People across the country pledged their wholehearted support to the movement. Indians working in government offices resigned. Lawyers boycotted courts, and teachers, lecturers, and children left the British-run educational institutions. In a stray incident in February 1922, an agitated mob of people set a police station on fire in Chauri Chaura, Uttar Pradesh. The incident greatly disturbed Gandhiji and he called off the non-cooperation movement. Some people believed that violence is the only answer to violence. They were known as revolutionaries. Some prominent of them were Bhagat Singh, Chandrasekhar Azad, Sukhdev, B.K. Dutt, Rajguru, and Jatin Das. In 1927, England sent a commission under Sir John Simon to review British governance over India as per the Act Reforms 1919. The commission was to review the share granted to the Indians to rule themselves. As Indians were not part of the commission, it was boycotted by all Indian leaders. The commission was welcomed in India with black flags and slogans of Simon Go Back. Lala Lajpat Rai led a similar demonstration in Lahore. He was badly hurt in the police lathi charge and later succumbed to his injuries. On 8 April 1929, Bhagat Singh and B.K. Dutt exploded 2 bombs on the floor of the Central Assembly. They made no attempt to escape. Bhagat Singh, Rajguru, and Sukhdev were sentenced to death. Many revolutionaries laid down their lives for their motherland. Many new leaders also joined the freedom struggle. Some of them were Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Sardar Patel, Maulana Azad, Motilal Nehru, Jawaharlal Nehru, C. Rajagopalachari, Chittaranjan Das, Muhammad Ali, and Shaukat Ali. In 1928, Vallabhbhai Patel led the farmers' struggle against the British government at Bardoli. On 26th January 1930, the Indian National Congress announced Purna Swaraj, the first ever declaration of independence. The British enacted the Salt Law, which prohibited Indians from making salt. On 12th March 1930, Gandhiji inaugurated the civil disobedience movement with the historic Dandi March. The march started from Sabarmati Ashram and covered a distance of 385 kilometers to Dandi along the sea coast. At Dandi, Gandhiji and his followers made salt and thus broke the salt law. C. Rajagopalachari conducted a similar march in Tamil Nadu. This was also called the Salt Satyagrah. The term Satyagrah symbolizes force born from truth and love. Women, peasants, as well as Adivasis and Dalits took part in civil disobedience movement. When the Second World War broke out in 1939, the British declared that India would participate from the side of the English forces. This strongly infuriated the Indians, who decided not to join the war till India achieved complete independence. As a means to negotiate further, a mission led by Sir Sandford Cripps was sent to India. The Cripps mission was unsuccessful. All leaders tried to negotiate for India's independence but were unable to make any breakthrough. On 8th August 1942, the Congress passed the Quit India resolution under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi. The Quit India movement marked the beginning of the final fight for an independent nation. The British government decided to crush the movement by arresting all the prominent leaders before the morning of 9th August 1942. This affected the whole nation, which rose to declare Quit India or Bharat Chodo slogan that the British government could not ignore. The British won the Second World War but incurred heavy losses. Furthermore, the agitation on Indian soil and the attack by Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, Indian National Army, weakened the foundation of the British rule in India. All these reasons made the British feel that granting complete freedom to the Indians was the only option. On 18th July 1947, the British Parliament passed the Indian Independence Act, which partitioned India into two independent nations, namely India and Pakistan. At midnight on 15th August 1947, the British lowered the Union Jack, that is, the British flag, and the Indian tricolour was unfurled. Lord Mountbatten was the last Viceroy of British India, and Dr. Rajendra Prasad became the first President of independent India, with Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru as its first Prime Minister. Now we have reached at the end of the chapter, so let us revise what we have studied in this chapter 17, Independent India. In this chapter, we have studied that Gandhiji started Satyagraha, which means insistence on the truth. It was a method of non-violent resistance. The condition of women and the low caste people was miserable. The British had no desire to give Indians the power to rule themselves. The most serious accident took place at Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar on 13th April 1919. The whole nation was shocked at the brutality of the British. At Chauri Chaura, an excited crowd set fire to a police station and burned 22 policemen alive. In 1928, the British government sent the Simon Commission to handle law and order situation in India. At the Lahore session in December 1929, the Congress decided that it would not rest until Purna Swaraj or complete independence would not be gained. Gandhiji started civil disobedience movement by breaking the unjust salt laws. In the northwest, the movement was led by Abdul Ghaffar Khan, who was popularly known as Frontier Gandhi. The Congress launched the Quit India movement in 1942. Subhash Chandra Bose became the commander-in-chief of the Indian National Army or Azad Hind Fauj. Muslim League under Jinnah declared that Muslims were separate people and must have a separate homeland called Pakistan. At the stroke of midnight on 14th August 1947, India awoke to a new life and freedom. I hope you have understood the chapter properly. Do the reading of the chapter and complete your written work of exercises, question answers and worksheet. Thank you.